On this one, guys, we're playing black, and knight just took my pawn on f5. So let's do material count real quick. So he has 4 pawns, I have 3. We each have a knight, and we each have our queen. So he's technically up by a point. His pawns are further advanced, though. Like, he has the pawn on b5, and, well, not necessarily true. His pawn on b5 is a little bit further up, but let's just see what we can juggle here. His king looks to be oddly placed. Like, instantly my eyes go to queen to f2 check, and just seeing what we can do there, because it's protected by my knight on d3. So queen f2 check, and well, he has to go h1. So king to h1. How do we follow that up? Knight to f4, setting up the mate on with like queen g2. I don't know if that's fast enough, because if we do that, then his queen can swoop down on d7 with check, and we're about to get mated. So I don't think that's gonna be fast enough, just based on the looks. So let's kind of X that for the second, for the moment, and look at, oh, look at this. Look at this tactic, and I could kind of tell by the positioning of the king and where the queen would end up. What if we go e4 takes f3 with check? If he takes back with his queen, then we don't take back with our queen. We would knight fork him with knight to e1, checking the king on g2 and the queen, and taking the queen. Oh, but our queen is on pre too, so not so fast. I mean, he would just take our queen. So let's see. Check. Huh. This is a little bit more complex. So e4 takes f3 check. Queen takes f3. And what if we went, like, threw an in-between move in there first? Like queen to g5 check. And then he would move either to h2 or h1, or you could also go to f1. So let's just say he went to h2. But the problem with that is we can't keep the check anymore. We can't do the knight check. So we would just have queen takes f5, winning the knight. So I don't think an in-between move is not going to be the answer. What if we just do the initial, just a basic queen fork with like queen g5 check? Then he goes king h2, and we take the knight on f5. Is that the best we're going to have? I mean, we do win a piece. It's not bad. It's not a bad move to win a piece in this position. I'm just looking to see if there's more. So let's keep that in our back pocket. Queen to g5 check, winning the knight. What if we juggle something with like knight to e1 check right away? What does that do? Knight e1 check. And obviously you can't take the queen because it's protected by my queen. So, you know, if he goes king to g3, then we would have queen to g5 check. And then he could move back to f2. That's a little bit weird. If we went back to f2, what do we do there? Yeah, let's forget that line. I just don't like that. I don't think there's anything there with the knight on e1. So let's go back to the pawn takes. Pawn takes f3 check. Now queen took on f3. Knight to e1 check. And let's say king to g3. Well, then we have queen to g5 check. And his queen, because we got the in-between move there, the king would have to move at that point to like h2, and then we could take the queen. So I just had to change the sequence in which we did that move order. So pawn takes e3 check, queen takes f3, knight to e1 check, and then say king to g3. Now we throw in the in-between move. Now queen to g5 check, and if king h2, then we take the knight, or take the queen rather, on f3 with check. So okay, so let's say he doesn't go to g3 with his king, and he goes to, I don't know, f1. Let's say he does that. Do we have, so let's go start over. e4 takes f3 check, queen takes f3, knight to e1 check, and king f1. Then what? We got to get our queen out of the way so that he can't just take our queen after we take his queen, because then we don't really accomplish anything. How could we check him there? Then we could go queen to d3 check, and then if he takes our knight on e1, then we take back with our queen. So then queen takes f3, and that way we can get out of his knight taking our queen back. So that's a little bit of a mind-boggling line, because the space you take is the knight that got vacated when we went to e1. So let's go through that. e4 takes f3 check, queen takes f3, knight to e1 check, king to f1, queen to, oh, that doesn't work. He just takes him. He just takes my queen. I would say queen to d3 doesn't work, because then queen takes f3, queen takes d3. I still want to do that line. It just looks like there's something there. e4 takes f3 check. Well, let's also consider for a second he doesn't even take back with the queen. So e4 takes f3 check. Nothing keeps him from just moving his king to h2. So king to h2, then what would we do? Queen to f2 check. Well, that's why. And then he just goes to h1 and gets mated on g2. So that's why he has to take back. What if we go e4 takes f3 check, king to f1 right away? What does he do there? Or what do we do there? e4 takes f3 check, king to f1. Well, then we just have a queen to f2 checkmate. Okay, so let's go back to the queen takes line. So we do know for sure the queen has to take back, because he's going to get mated in 2 moves if he doesn't. So e4 takes f3 check, queen takes f3, knight to e1 check, and let's say the king goes to g3. Well, then we have queen takes f3. We have queen takes f3. So king takes... Oh, guys, I'm overcomplicating this. In any case, no matter what happens, after knight to e1 check, the king has to move. So even if it goes to f1, then I just take his queen on f3. That's all it is. I don't know why I was getting so wrapped up in an in-between move. We already have 2 guys attack 2 of our pieces striking the queen that would be on f3. So it's e4 takes f3. I'm just going to make the move. Yes, that's it. +6. That's a 2166 rated problem with only a 30.9% pass rate. I guess I can understand why, because it gets a little bit confusing with kind of how you reorient the pieces with his queen taking on f3 and your knight going to e1 with the fork, and then realizing that it's really just queen takes f3 if he does go king f1. And yeah, so I can kind of understand why that would be a little bit of a tougher problem. On to the next one.